Hi, Mr. Heston. My name is Sal Monastero, and the article that I chose to talk about with the topic of marginalization and inequality in sport is called "The Unevenness of Social Change in Women's Sports in the United States: Historical and Contemporary Perspectives." This was written by Cheryl Cookie. She has a PhD, and this is in the Gatorade Sports Science Institute page article, and this was written May of 2023. And it talks about, to start off, it talks about something that is still evolving today, and it is Title IX. But we all know that, everyone knows that women's sports and participation has grown over the years, and that's something we're seeing, and a lot of people are influencing that, like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, AZ Fudd. All these athletes are inspiring these girls to keep playing the sport that they love, whether it's not basketball, whether it's other sports, softball, hockey. You see that a lot in hockey, professional leagues going on, but it also explains why it's still not equal today. So a couple key points in this article that is really important is to give a little background. The Title IX was passed in 1972, and it talks about the discrimination of basis of sex and educational programs and activities, sports, and to kind of go off of that, she points out that after that was passed, ever since the past 54 years it's been, the participation has gone up, and that's something that is really good to see, because you want to see women participate in sports that males have dominated. So I love seeing women are participating, and that's something she has seen, or she has described in this article. But to go off of that, there's also negative sides of this. The funding is crazy. Facilities, when she talked about facilities, back in like 2021, 2022, I'll try to attach it to my submission. There's a picture of what the workout setup was like for the NCAA women's basketball tournament, if you know what I'm talking about. And it was just bad to see how much different they're treated than the men. And also she talks about scholarships and obviously the media coverage. And to go off of that media coverage, they're not getting a lot. Obviously, they're not going to get as much attention as the males, which is sad to see. But it also talks about fewer opportunities, which is sad as well. Another topic she talks about is how females don't get the same opportunity, whether it's because of race, their status, also maybe the money that they might have, how their physicalness, like disability, and gender identity. It all shapes how women are able to participate in sports. That's why there should be laws in place, which is unfortunate. But the part that really stood out to me talks about how women in sports, they don't stand out. So it talks about in the article how there's a lot of culture shifts, and that's why it's creating not a lot of opportunity. But then you have your people that it talks about in the article that are pushing for equality, which is good to see, because you always want to have people pushing for a great cause. And while reading this article, I also liked how it talked about the progress in women's sports. I think it's important to note that it's not about the product that is on the court, the field, the whatever surface they're playing. It's about who is supporting them. And that's why it's important to have advocates supporting them. And to kind of summarize this whole article, I think, not to summarize, but one last point to talk about is the fact that there are some practical applications in this article that will help progress the participation. And some stats that I'm seeing right now is that two stats actually stood out to me, where 94% of women executives have background in sports. That is good because you have women executives starting to really get into these front offices. That will help get women more involved. And one last one is that one last stat is that 61% of women executives who responded believed playing sports contributed positively to their career success and advancement. I think that's important because if you played in sports, you're more like professional D1, NBA, WNBA, you're more likely to, not NBA, this is women's, WNBA, you're more likely to get a really good job, whether it's on-air television, behind the scenes, stuff like that. But overall, this article really opened my eyes about inequality and participation in sports and how it has grown, and why that fixing it is the really best option in progressing how women participate in sports and how it has changed. Thank you for listening to my 7-minute video right now. If you ever need a very confident and really someone that loves sports, you can connect with me, send me an email, something like that. But thank you so much.